Hi, I've been watching all of your scary videos every time you guys upload them. I find all the stories interesting and very terrifying, but I never expected I would experience something horrifying, just like the videos you guys upload. Here's my story. I'm a girl who lives in a province here in the Philippines, and people here are very superstitious, especially the old folks. I never believed in those superstitious beliefs, but I never imagined that those beliefs would one day save my life. It happened 2 months ago when I got accepted as a tutor for a kid in the barangay near us. The salary was nice, and so was the family. It had been 3 weeks since I started being a math tutor for their child, and I was on my way to their house when I noticed people staring at me weirdly, as if they saw a ghost or something. I just shrugged it off and made my way to the student's house. I knocked on the door and smiled at the mother, who smiled back at me. But her smile suddenly faded away, and she looked at me like how the people on the street did. I thought I messed up my makeup or something, so I asked her, but she stood there quietly. The awkward silence was interrupted when I heard my student's cheerful voice shouting my name and running towards my direction. I was excited to hug her too, since she was always hyped up to see me. But she stopped midway and started crying. Her mother snapped back to reality and said, "Maybe she's just tired. You can have a seat in the living room while I prepare lunch." Even though I was confused, I just sat on their nearby sofa, and I heard my student screaming, "Why is my teacher's head missing?" I was shocked by what the kid said, and it became even creepier when her dad approached me, also looking scared, and said, "I think you should go home for now. But remember, if you arrive home, burn all the clothes that you're wearing today." It didn't make sense, but I just nodded and went home. At home, I recalled all those bizarre things that happened and told my parents about it. My parents, who were never superstitious at all, suddenly got up and started praying. They told me to burn the clothes that I wore that day immediately. Since their reaction creeped me out, I did what they all told me to. So I burned my clothes that night. While burning my clothes, I could smell some weird odor that made me want to puke. I told my brother to watch my burning clothes because I was going to get a glass of water. But on my way, I fainted. When I woke up, it was already 7:30 p.m. I asked my mom what happened, and they told me I fainted. So they took me to the hospital and they said I was fine. Since I couldn't wake up in the morning, my parents informed my students' parents that I wouldn't be there since I was sick. But the next thing shocked me because while listening to the radio, we heard that there was a shootout that happened in the street during 8:30 in the morning. And luckily, no one got injured since no one was walking on those streets at that time. But that's the same street that I always walk on at exactly 8:30 in the morning to get to my student's house. I then realized that the reason my students saw me headless is that I was about to get into an accident, and if I hadn't burned my clothes, I would have been a victim of the shootout. You see, in the Philippines, if people see you headless, it was advised that you should burn your clothes that you're wearing that day in order to be safe.